What if the unthinkable happened? What if the Los Angeles Lakers pulled off a move so bold, so seismic, that it redefined the balance of power in the NBA? Picture this. LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Joel Embiid, three of the league's most dominant forces, teaming up under the bright lights of Hollywood, all wearing the iconic purple and gold. It sounds like a fever dream, the kind of scenario that only exists in fantasy leagues or 2K simulations. But lately, that dream has started to feel a little closer to reality. Rumblings around the league have sparked wild speculation. Debates on social media have caught fire, and fans are daring to imagine what such a trio could accomplish together. But before we dive headfirst into this fantasy, we got to take a step back and understand why this conversation is gaining so much momentum. It all traces back to a painful memory. Last year's playoff series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 5 exposed a glaring weakness that's been haunting the Lakers for some time now, a soft interior. They were crushed on the boards, out-rebounded 54-37. It was like watching a heavyweight boxer get pummeled in the body round after round, unable to strike back. Los Angeles went small in that matchup, a strategy that simply couldn't stand up to Minnesota's physicality. Without a true center anchoring the paint, the Lakers struggled to contain the Wolves' bigs, and it cost them. That night reignited an old conversation. The Lakers need size, and not just any size. They need an elite big man. The front office didn't waste time. Throughout the offseason, they made it clear rim protection and interior presence were top priorities. That's when Joel Embiid's name first entered the chat. Word spread fast that the Lakers were quietly exploring a blockbuster trade, one that would shake the foundation of the league. On paper, the fit looks almost too perfect. Embiid isn't just big, he's a mountain. Standing over 7 feet tall and weighing more than 280 pounds, his presence alone changes the geometry of the court. He patrols the paint like a lion guarding his territory, swallowing rebounds and swatting away layups. Plugging him into the Lakers lineup would immediately solve their rebounding woes, and then some. Defensively, Embiid would be a game changer. Opponents would think twice before driving inside, knowing they'd have to contend with one of the best shot blockers in the league. And while he's a force on defense, his offensive game is just as terrifying. This isn't your old-school back-to-the-basket center. Embiid can step out and knock down shots, especially in pick-and-pop situations. With a career three-point percentage hovering around 31%, he stretches defenses in ways few big men can. Picture the chaos. Embiid setting a screen for Luka, rolling to the corner for a quick catch and shoot, or popping to the top of the key while LeBron drives down the lane. Defenses would be left scrambling, trying to cover every angle, every weapon. Now imagine the freedom this would give LeBron and Luka. With Embiid securing the paint, they could operate on the perimeter without the burden of protecting the rim or battling in the post. Luka's creativity with the ball, his court vision, and ability to manipulate defenses would reach another level. And LeBron, even in the twilight of his career, still commands the game like a maestro. With Embiid lurking inside, ready to punish defenders who collapse on drives, LeBron could dish dimes or pull up with confidence, knowing he's got a safety valve in the post. Of course, the idea of bringing Embiid to Los Angeles has sparked passionate reactions. Some fans are already dreaming of championship parades, while others are pumping the brakes. The biggest concern? Health. Embiid has never played more than 68 games in a season. Just last year, he was limited to 19 games before undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his knee. That kind of injury history can't be ignored. Add to that a massive 4-year, $248 million contract, and you've got a recipe for hesitation. Committing to Embiid means taking a risk, a huge one. But is it a risk worth taking if it puts the Lakers back in title contention? Then comes the question of cost. What would it take to land a player of Embiid's caliber? Rumors suggest a package centered around D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract, Austin Reeves, and a first-round pick somewhere between 2026 and 2031. That might just be the starting point. Philadelphia would likely demand more, perhaps Rui Hachimura, Cam Reddish, or another young prospect to sweeten the deal. The Sixers aren't going to part with their franchise cornerstone for spare parts. They'll want assets that either help them win now or give them the flexibility to rebuild quickly. Financially, the move would be complicated. Taking on Embiid's contract would push the Lakers deep into the luxury tax. They'd have to clear cap space, maybe by unloading the contracts of role players like Gabe Vincent or Jared Vanderbilt. There's also the possibility of restructuring current deals or including additional teams to balance salaries. It wouldn't be easy, but if the front office believes Embiid is the missing piece, they might be willing to absorb the tax hit and go all in. Team chemistry is another wild card. LeBron is entering his 22nd season. An unprecedented feat. Luka is still adjusting to life in LA, and Embiid would be the new kid on the block. How would these three alpha personalities coexist? Embiid is used to being the go-to scorer in Philly. Would he accept a reduced role in a star-studded lineup? Could the coaching staff mold their unique styles into a unified system? It's a delicate dance, but some analysts argue that their high basketball IQs and willingness to share the spotlight could make it work. Still, nothing is guaranteed. From Philadelphia's point of view, things aren't any simpler. Embiid has expressed frustration with the organization's inability to build a true contender around him. A move to Los Angeles would offer a fresh start, championship potential, and the chance to play with elite talent. But he's also been the face of the Sixers for years. Would he willingly walk away from the city that embraced him? The media attention in LA is relentless. Every move, every quote, every outfit would be scrutinized. Is he ready for that kind of spotlight? Then there's the ripple effect across the league. If the Lakers landed Embiid, they'd instantly become favorites in the Western Conference. Teams like the Nuggets, Warriors, and Clippers would be forced to respond. Front offices around the league would reevaluate their own rosters and strategies, knowing that the bar just got higher. It could trigger a domino effect of trades, free agent signings, and draft moves. The entire balance of power could shift. But the biggest question of all is, can this really happen? Is it even possible to pull off such a blockbuster in today's NBA? Salary cap rules, new collective bargaining agreement restrictions, and the sheer size of Embiid's contract make this a logistical nightmare. But that hasn't stopped teams before. We've seen it with Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and even LeBron himself. Where there's a will and enough draft picks, there's a way. If the Lakers somehow make this deal work, the basketball on the court could be revolutionary. On offense, they'd be almost unguardable. Embiid's post dominance would draw double teams, opening up the floor for shooters and cutters. Luka could dissect defenses with pinpoint passes, while LeBron does what he's always done, control the game's tempo and flow. Every possession would be a puzzle for opposing defenses. Who do you stop? Who do you leave open? The options would be endless. Defensively, the trio could anchor one of the most versatile lineups in the league. Embiid guarding the rim, Luka switching on pick and rolls, and LeBron playing free safety, anticipating passes and disrupting plays. They could cover ground, protect the paint, and force turnovers, a nightmare for any offense. Add in role players who can knock down threes and hustle for loose balls, and you've got the recipe for a dominant two-way squad. Rebounding would be another strength. Embiid alone commands the glass. But imagine him cleaning up his own misses while Luka crashes in from the wing and LeBron grabs boards to ignite the fast break. It's a combination of size, speed, and intelligence that few teams could match. They control the tempo, dictate the pace, and wear down opponents over the course of a game, a series, a season. And let's not forget the off-court implications. This trio would be a marketing dream. Ticket sales would skyrocket. Merchandise would fly off the shelves. Global brands would line up for sponsorships. The Lakers would become more than a team. They'd be a cultural phenomenon. Late-night shows, documentaries, international tours. The possibilities are endless. Embiid's charisma, Luka's international appeal, and LeBron's global brand would elevate the franchise to new heights. But high expectations come with high pressure. One slip up in the playoffs, and critics will be quick to label them as a failed experiment. Too many stars, not enough chemistry. Egos clashing in the spotlight. Can the coaching staff keep it all together through an 82-game grind and the intensity of postseason basketball? What happens in a locker room when things go south? Leadership will be tested, patience will be stretched, and sacrifices will have to be made. Embiid, in particular, brings a mix of dominance and unpredictability. He can drop 50 points on any given night, then miss the next 5 games nursing a sore knee. Would he accept a minute's restriction to preserve his health? Could he buy into a system that prioritizes long-term sustainability over personal stats? If LeBron sets the tone with his leadership and Luka follows with his work ethic, maybe Embiid falls in line. Maybe he embraces the bigger picture and treats every possession like it's his first shot at glory. In LA, the media circus is relentless. Embiid's every move, from practice routines to tunnel fits, would become fodder for sports talk shows and social media. Would that be a distraction, or could the team harness that energy and use it as fuel? Could the Lakers turn the noise into a worldwide buzz that no other franchise could match? And from a tactical standpoint, Embiid's fit with Luka and LeBron opens up a world of possibilities. High pick and rolls, double screens, misdirection plays, the options are endless. Defenses would be left guessing, forced to choose between collapsing on the big man or closing out on shooters. Coaches across the league would be scrambling to devise counters, knowing that traditional schemes might not be enough. Of course, the road to making this dream a reality is filled with hurdles. Multiple first-round picks, young assets, and financial gymnastics would be required. The new CBA makes trades of this magnitude incredibly difficult. But if there's any franchise bold enough to try, it's the Lakers. Their history is built on chasing greatness, on betting big when the stakes are highest. And then there's the other side of the deal. What does Philadelphia get in return? Expiring contracts? Draft capital? The chance to pivot and rebuild around a new core? Maybe they see the writing on the wall, that the title window with Embiid is closing. Perhaps they believe it's better to move early, while his value is still sky high, and start fresh with flexibility and future stars. Joel Embiid to the Lakers isn't just a trade rumor. It's a window into everything that makes the modern NBA so captivating. The power of superstars, the dance of the salary cap, the drama of team building in the spotlight. It's a story of ambition, risk, and the pursuit of glory. The only question left is, will it actually happen? Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, LeBron James, one of the most iconic figures in the history of basketball, has officially announced his retirement, bringing an end to a legendary career that has spanned more than 2 decades. The announcement, made through a heartfelt statement shared with fans and the media, marks the conclusion of an era that has redefined the game in ways few athletes have ever managed. LeBron's departure from the court signals not just the end of his playing days, but also the beginning of a new chapter, both for the NBA and for the man himself. Throughout his illustrious career, LeBron has accomplished feats that will forever be etched in the annals of basketball history. With 4 NBA championships, 2 Olympic gold medals, and countless individual awards, his impact on the game is immeasurable. But it wasn't just his statistics that made LeBron a transformative player. His basketball IQ, versatility, and leadership on and off the court have set a new standard for what it means to be a complete player in the modern era. From his early years as a high school phenom in Akron, Ohio, to his reign as the NBA's most dominant force, LeBron's journey has been one of extraordinary consistency and resilience. He entered the league in 2003 as the number 1 overall pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and over the next 20 years, he would go on to play for the Miami Heat, return to Cleveland for a championship, and ultimately join the Los Angeles Lakers, where he delivered another title in 2020. Each chapter in his career not only showcased his on-court dominance, but also his ability to rise to the occasion in the most critical moments. LeBron's retirement, however, is not solely defined by his accomplishments on the court. Off the court, he has become a trailblazer in the world of activism, philanthropy, and business. His charitable initiatives, including his groundbreaking I Promise School for at-risk children in Akron, have made him a beloved figure far beyond the basketball court. LeBron has used his platform to advocate for social justice, racial equality, and education reform, cementing his legacy as a leader in the fight for change. As the basketball world processes the news of, stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.